What's going on, you guys? It's KP here with another boxing prediction. This time it's for the Miguel Cotto versus Antonio Margarito rematch this December. First, let me start off by saying I am in the group that believes that Antonio Margarito loaded his gloves for the first Miguel Cotto fight. I think that's a very cowardly move, and I also believe that Miguel Cotto has never been the same since that fight. I believe he suffered psychological as well as physical damage. You could tell any fight previous to that, he had a certain fire about him, just a certain something about him that is missing now. You've seen it in the Pacquiao fight. He had glimpses of his old self early, and then he got subdued by Pacquiao. The Quaddy fight, he just kind of seemed lackadaisical in it until the end. Just hasn't been the same since that fight, man. But on to this rematch. I had a little bit of a, first when I heard about this, I was like, Miguel Cotto's going to whoop his ass. He isn't going to have loaded gloves this time. But the more I think about it, the more interesting this fight becomes. Miguel Cotto is a very talented boxer. He has, good speed, good power. He's the better athlete than Antonio Margarito by a long shot. Far faster, far more powerful punches. But style-wise, Antonio Margarito has his number. As much as I hate to admit it, I think Margarito has his number style-wise. Miguel Cotto doesn't do well when you put pressure on him. He can't really fight off of his back foot very well. We saw that in the Pacquiao fight. We saw that in the first Margarito fight. Even though Margarito probably had loaded gloves, I still think that maybe the same result would have happened minus the knockout. Maybe a decision victory for Margarito. Just the more I see this fight, the more I see it being actually competitive. At first, I was like, Miguel Cotto's probably just going to spank his ass for 12 rounds to get a unanimous decision. But I'm not 100% positive that it's going to be a complete one-sided affair. I am going with Miguel Cotto to win this fight in a decision. I don't think he'll knock Margarito out. That's something very, very difficult to do. You just saw in his last fight with Pacquiao. Pacquiao basically annihilated him, and he just stood there and took it. The fight probably should have been stopped. But his corner's not going to let him quit. He's not going to quit, so this could be a brutal 12-round beating, but what have you. I think he deserves every bit of beating he's going to get in this fight. That's a terrible thing that he did, and he can say all he wants that he didn't know it was in his gloves. Trust me, dude, you know what's in your gloves if you're a fighter. You know everything about what's in your gloves. What I see happening is this. Well, I see a couple of outcomes. There's one outcome that I'm worried about, and that is that Miguel Cotto gets in the fight, and he sees that his punches aren't hurting Margarito again, and Margarito's right there in front of him, just keeps applying that pressure like in the first fight. And I hope this doesn't happen, but Cotto may mentally break down and give in to that pressure, because he may have, flashbacks of the first fight. And I hope this doesn't happen, but he could lose it near the end of the fight, and Margarito may be able to pull the upset. What I think is going to happen is early on, Cotto will realize he's not going to hurt Margarito, so he'll rely on his boxing skills. And he's going to move well. He's going to throw powerful punches, but not really overcommit himself trying to get Margarito out of there. I think he's going to fight smart. He's actually looked like a much better boxer in his last couple fights, especially the one against, I think it was Yuri Foreman. He looked terrific in that fight. Like, that's some of the best I've seen him. And I hope he fights smart. I hope he doesn't go out there with anger and trying to knock Margarito out, because that's not going to happen. And that's the way he's going to lose, if he goes in there angry and tries to knock Margarito out, because Margarito will be there for 12 rounds. Okay? So, What I think is going to happen, I think Cotto will outbox him for 12 rounds. I think Margarito will have his moments. And what I hope doesn't happen is that Cotto mentally isn't there, because that's the only worry about Miguel Cotto anymore. Physically, he always shows up, but mentally, is he going to be there? Is it going to be that old Miguel Cotto that wants to get revenge but do it in a smart way, or is it going to be a Miguel Cotto that's afraid, that has worries, that is worried, my punches aren't hurting him, what the hell, this is just like the first fight. I hope that's not the Miguel Cotto we get. I hope we get a smart and determined Miguel Cotto, which, in my opinion, could beat any boxer on any day. As long as he is in the right mental state, Miguel Cotto is at least a top 10 pound for pound boxer. But, like I said, it's one of those things where, is he going to show up or not? My prediction is Miguel Cotto by decision. Probably something like 9 rounds to 3, maybe 8 rounds to 4. I think this is going to be a closer fight than most people think, but probably something like 9 rounds to 3. But this is one of those fights where literally anything could happen. So let me hear your guys' thoughts. Let me hear what you guys got to say. Hear your predictions. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Tell me what I'm wrong about. Let's get a discussion going. All right. Peace, guys.